Welcome back, Wastelanders. Today we have an extra special episode for you in the Fallout series, When Freedom Calls. And it is going to focus on the Red Rocket Station. For those of you who don't know, I am Clutch Clips, and I am bringing to you a Fallout 4 how to be the best Minutemen general build guide ever. Today's episode is going to be covering the history and lore of the Red Rocket Station while establishing our own lore for our own playthrough and exploring a little bit of it as we build and create a nice place for our Minutemen to relax and resupply in between patrols in the Commonwealth. Hope you guys have brought some Nuka-Cola. If so, crack it open, sit back, and enjoy as we dig in deep
over here
to the background and lore of the Red Rocket Station. Now, this video is going to be strictly covering the one that is a vanilla base game settlement, not the Nuka World one or any of the other ones that you can find throughout the game. I'll cover those in different videos whenever we establish them, but like I said, this one is solely covering the one that you find right outside of Sanctuary Hills at the start of the game. So, let's dive in. So, the Red Rocket Station is usually one of the second to third locations you discover in the game, typically. And it's a pretty easy location. There's not much opposition, a few mole rats, and you get to meet the goodest boy ever there, Dog Meat. And there's a few other things that you can discover, but this was once Concord's nuclear coolant replenishment and service station. So before the Great War, employees there won the Trash Busters Award, which we find once we take a look in the cave that we can find in the back portion of the station. Now, this award was for the greatest year-to-year waste reduction by a single store. However, the company was unaware of the fact that they had been dumping hazardous materials in said cave located beneath the station, instead of following the proper disposal practices that they were supposed to. So, this award that they won is saying congrats for being the cleanest of getting rid of your nuclear waste, disposing of it properly, when they weren't. They were just dumping it in the cave out back that we discover. And that's what we have when the sole survivor finds the mole rats and the fusion core and all those other goodies down there. After the war, however, it sits abandoned and uninhabited, with the exception of the lone dog and a few mole rats. So that's the state we find it in whenever there's just dog meat and a few moley boys out front. Now, the layout of Red Rocket Station is pretty simple. It has a decent build space. It has a decent build height. It has actually one of the highest in the games, I believe. It has an inside of the garage where there is both a workshop and some power armor station. There's an armor workbench and a weapons workbench and a cooking station out back, and there's also a chemistry station around from the garage. Now, this is one of only 2 settlements in the entire game, the other being Sanctuary Hills, where you automatically start with all of the crafting workshops. So this is perfect for an early game settlement, because you don't have to worry about having any of the perks or being leveled up or having any points to spend or anything like that. You can just dive right into everything and have a happy settlement. Now, some notable loot that we have here. There is directly south of the station is the entrance to the mole rat den. Now, this is where everything is buried. The nuclear waste, the rest of the dirty secrets that this station has, and I don't know what my settlement's doing there. Apparently they're a little high on life right now. Yikes, that ain't Mama Murphy, but they are definitely on chems, I'll tell you that. Sometimes my settlers get a little wild when I go away and do these videos. Now, Inside, along with the dirty secrets that this red rocket station is hiding, you can find a fusion core and the Trash Busters award node that we previously mentioned. You can also find a Nuka-Cola Quantum in a fridge in the house in the southeast section, and you can find coolant schematics underneath the counter, obtainable during Combat Ready, which is a quest. So, here are some notes on I really don't understand what's happening here. This settler was just
I just want to trade
not
a few things.
feeling like walking, apparently, and now she's tired. I'd be tired too if I just do all that. But here's some notable things to keep in mind when exploring the settlement. The mole rats do not appear immediately, but wait around or explore the nearby area, and eventually Dogmeat will bark, indicating danger. That's when the mole rats appear before the dog is in action. So you'll never find the mole rats appearing before the dog is greeted. So you can just run around beforehand, you'll be okay. This location does give some insight into the resource crisis and the inflation before the Great War.
I just need to trade
By the
gear
way
with
of the
you.
coolant prices on the sign, for Class C coolant, Red Rocket charged $113.99 per gallon. Considering the
Just wanted to trade a few things.
2,800% inflation occurrence before the war, this comes out to around $4. The Red Rocket truck stop in the game is not the same one shown in the trailer and the promotional images. The Red Rocket garage shown in the trailer is not in the game, sadly. At high levels, super mutants, including a suicider, everybody's favorite, will frequently spawn to the northeast of the coolant pumps. Many identical Red Rocket truck stops can also be found across the Commonwealth. Some come with workbenches and power armor stations as well. However, there are no map markers for these stops, besides the Fort Hagen filling station. They cannot be used as settlements, sadly. That is sad. Now, there is the Nuka World rocket, Red Rocket, which is considered outside of the Commonwealth and therefore does not provide an exception here. Like I said, we're not even covering that one. We're only covering this one. There's also southwest of the garage, near the water tower, a steamer trunk can be found in a hole in the ground. And just across the street, on the high ground above the rocks, there's a chair set up, as if someone had been watching the truck stop. Next to the chair is a large tire with an ammo container in it. Could this be Deacon spying again? Seems like it could be in the same area. Sadly, you cannot include the cave entrance in the settlement when you're building. It is outside the limits, sadly. But, that being said, the Red Rocket Station still serves as a great settlement early on and throughout the game. It's a service station that's between Sanctuary Hills and Concord, and we know that the ex-employees have a habit of dumping the hazardous materials in the cave. Now, what we don't know is why in our gameplay is this such an appealing and attractive location for the Minutemen, the general have you, to occupy the troops, but not only feel the need to station multiple troops there and fortify it as a base and begin setting up shop there. Well, I have the answers to you guys as the general. The reason that I have decided to do all of the above is because as a Minutemen general, it has come to me, it's fallen on my doorstep to lead the Minutemen into the future. And I can't do that while we day in, day out defend every settlement in the Commonwealth, basically, while the Brotherhood is steal your technology in the railroad I'm gonna hide to the ground, the underground railroad, literally, for since hide and defend themselves, and the Institute is causing the problem. We are left to fight all for our own while defending others, and we don't get anything for it. Now, I'm not complaining, as one who wants to see the Commonwealth built again by a thriving community of bartering and trading and helping each other out and lend a hand to thy neighbor. See justice be brought back to the Commonwealth I'm no fool. I understand this is no small feat, that it is going to take a lot more than just charismatic words and a cool hat and a dog companion and an overbearing second in command who won't shut up about the next quest to complete this. So that's why the Minutemen have seized this location and have repurposed it, restored it to a post war power armor station. Now, what I mean by this is we have converted this garage from a normal cooling garage and fill station to a power armor garage for the Minutemen. Now, on the way home from our perilous first adventures and first connection with the overbearing Preston Garvey, Sturges and company, the General, me, and Sturges were having a nice stroll on the way back to Sanctuary Hills with Mama Murphy and the Longs. And we both took notice of the nice position of a Red Rocket station very close to Sanctuary Hills, both taking note of the space and equipment that it comes with. So, being the two like minded individuals we were, we both gave each other a little nod that we were going to visit this notion later. Well, after some time and establishing Sanctuary Hills is not only a, permanent base, but also a home of operations for the Minutemen, it only makes sense that we should branch out slowly, but have something like a secondary base close by that, can feed our needs. Well, like I said, it's my duty to lead the Minutemen into the future and not have them become a thing of the past. And if we're going to continue to defend the Commonwealth at the rate we're going, we need to switch up and do something different. Now, what I proposed is the use in integralness of power armor into our militia. I think by taking and utilizing power armor, we not only will get an edge on all of the other factions, but we'll also maintain a much better chance at defending our settlements and ourselves whenever we fall attack to raiders, ghouls, gunners, what have you. Now, the Minutemen, we need a secret space to forge our power armor and to make, repairs, adjustments, upgrades, etc. So Sturges pointed out that since it already is a garage, converting it to a power armor garage wouldn't be that much more difficult. And it doesn't look suspicious. We don't have to add too much more to it. No one should really notice, that we're slowly converting it. And it's definitely not going to, stick out like a sore thumb, which is why we picked that location. There are a few other Red Rocket stations throughout the Commonwealth, yes. Some have power armor stations and other workbenches, but they aren't as inconspicuous and also aren't as close. Meaning, yes, they would be nice and they have the equipment and space, maybe, but they don't hold all of the same things. As in, they don't have the location super close to Sanctuary Hills and the space and all the works benches, you know what I mean? So it just makes sense that we took this spot and we turned it into a power armor station. Now, that's being said, the Minutemen, we don't have a source of power armor. We don't have a factory, a manufacturer. We don't have a dealer. We don't have like a dealership we can just roll up to and lease out an T60. Nothing like that. We don't have a Predwin full of people in power armor. So the Minutemen have to quote unquote acquire our power armor. And what I mean by that is we get our power armor by any means possible. So, that being said, whether it's coming across it in the middle of a lake because we found the location of a crashed vertibird, or because we tracked another crashed vertibird to the top of a overpass and we found a pair there, or just because we decide to find a pair somewhere locked up and we hit it with the old lock pit, or whether we steal it from a, group of gunners, as you saw in a few episodes before. right before Sanctuary Hills fell under attack, one of our own fellow Minutemen decided to take a suit of power armor from a rival gunner faction. Decided to try to have our Minutemen paint it in our colors, and we continued the quest for her. She fell, but we decided to get revenge. Now, that means that the only way we can get power armor is by finding it. So we don't have a lot. And what we have to do is we have to make sure that the pairs we do have,
Can't break the code.
we keep in our possession and we take care of, and we, make the best of. So we have a high security to prevent the loss of any power armor at all there at the outpost station. That being said, we have a high military presence, obviously Sanctuary Hills being at our home base, and we have a pretty equal population to guard ratio at Red Rocket Station as well. Like I said, we have a high security to make sure that there's nothing that goes on with our power armor because, like I said, it's hard for the Minutemen to come by. So when we do and we get, our armor right and we upgrade and everything, we want our troops to benefit from it, no one else. We don't want any lazy raiders, any lucky gunners, any stupid super mutants, nothing like that. So we have high security here at all times. We also are looking at this settlement as a strategic outpost for Concord, since there are no other settlements really in Concord at all, I don't think. The closest we have is the Starlight Drive-In, which we're starting to build up now. But we don't really have anything else in that area. So being able to have a further insight into the Concord at all times to be able to keep an eye on things is very helpful. Like you can see here, the Minutemen were lucky that they have the general who's so smart and tracked this crash vertebrate to this nice lake on this clear sunny day. And the general and his doggy boy right here get in this nice pair of power armor and take it out of this swamp hole before it decides to rust. And that right there is how we acquire another pair for the Minutemen. As you'll see here in a little bit, whenever we go back to Red Rocket, you'll get to see the entire ensemble of power armor that we've acquired so far for this gameplay. I believe we have I think we have the original pair of T-45 armor that we get from the Museum of Freedom, like from the first quest. I believe we have that original pair in Sanctuary Hills, but other than that, every pair that we've acquired so far is taken and brought to the Red Rocket Station because that is where we're bringing all the power armor, like I said. We have our mechanics there stationed, we have guard station there, and we have a few other settlers, like we have a few farmers and a few scavengers, I think, to get some resources. But other than that, everybody's either a mechanic or they're guard. My Hermit Crab is going nuts right now. 21 knows it's his birthday. He's celebrating. Happy birthday, 21. So, like I was saying, the Minutemen have decided to secure this location for a variety of reasons, but one of the most important being that it has the space and equipment for us to make repairs and upgrades on our power armor. So, that is what you're going to be seeing us do here. So, hopefully, now that we have this spot, we have 3 pairs of power armor to line up. I believe we have 2 T-51s and 2 T-45s, the original one here, and then the other 2 here, T-51s. Our goal eventually is to be able to get 3 full sets here and to start to implement a pair to I would say I believe it would be the colonel or corporal in command at all our major settlements. Now that is going to be it's probably going to be a long ways down the road, way episodes from now. But as you can see in this episode and the last couple, we have started to do other things, like started creating specific laser rifles and weapons for our settlers and our Minutemen at bases. As you can see here throughout this video, I'll be walking around multiple times. Right here is one in the background. We have our guards in either military fatigues to give them damage resistance or army fatigues. Depends. I have a bunch of the army fatigues and not as many as the military fatigues right now, but I digress. We have them in army helmets to look more official. We have some Minutemen outfits. Our provisioners in a Minutemen outfit. They both have custom laser muskets. We have applied the Minutemen skin to our rifles as to know which ones are guards in case, we have any synth infiltrators or anybody trying to pretend that won't fit in, they won't even look right. And it just honestly, it adds a bit of peace of mind to the settlers. It adds a little peace of mind to, the other guards and everything that, things are starting to look up and, Commonwealth, provisional government that the men tried to set up a while back, might have failed, and since might, cause a lot of damage, but things are looking up. The Minutemen might have been taken down, but it's a sign of hope to see, your fellow Minutemen walking through the streets with a rifle with the logo on there, or seeing, a caravan walk through town and say, oh, there's a Minutemen, huh? It's a sign of hope. It's a sign of things are turning around for the Minutemen because they are. We have high luck in this gameplay. We have a higher charisma. We're going to use both to make sure the Minutemen not only go on to the future, but are protecting settlements for years and years and years to come in the Commonwealth. And hopefully, who knows, maybe I'm pretty sure the Minutemen are part of the canonical ending for Fallout 4, regardless of they're part of every ending almost, unless you specifically go to kill them off. And I'm not even sure if you can, but I know that they're definitely part of the canonical ending. So what I mean by that is the ending that like Bethesda specifically intends to be the ending, which like now that the show is out, definitely involves the Brotherhood, which honestly doesn't matter because like I said, you can choose the Minutemen and the Brotherhood. That's the great part about this faction, is that they don't mind working with others as long as the common goal is met and people are being treated fairly, which is what I love about them at the end of the day. And that's why I'm loving this playthrough so much, having so much fun playing for you guys. But thanks to the show and hints we know from other games and such like that, the Predwin being in the show means that the canonical ending for Fallout 4 is either with just the Brotherhood or the Minutemen in the Brotherhood, which, I mean, given the two options, I'm going to assume it's with the Minutemen in the Brotherhood because, like, it seems like a really dark, dark path to set everybody down for the Minutemen to have been wiped out in this. But who knows? We know that whoever is rolling orders in the Commonwealth is rolling heavy, and they have control because they're handing out orders left, right, and central in the series. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't watched the Fallout series on Amazon yet, please, please, please go check that out. It's so good. Chef's Kiss. Amazon Prime did so good. It's one of the only video game adaptations. I think it's that, Twisted Metal, and maybe that might be it, honestly. There's one more, I believe, but I can't, don't tip my tongue, I can't remember right now. But they're one of the only video game adaptations that is actually really done well. And like when I say Amazon killed it, I mean Amazon didn't like recreate a Fallout series. Amazon took Fallout and made it a game, made it a show. Like, I don't even know. They literally didn't create anything. They just brought the video games to the big screen, and it's just done so well. You'll recognize anything. Long-term fans, you'll notice every little detail and be like, whoa, I've seen that. And even people who don't know what's going on, you're going to enjoy very good humor, very good dialogue, good writing, good comedy, good gore, everything. Just everything you would find in a video game blockbuster. But back to the game. So, our Minutemen have taken over this Red Rocket station in hopes to start producing some power armor and distributing it out to our generals throughout the wasteland and our colonels, hopefully to help us get another step up on the enemies and to continue our powering through the Commonwealth and cleansing it. Now, there's not much lore about this settlement in general. I really wanted to make this video, and I wish that I could, I wish that it was longer, there was more I could talk about, but there is just not a ton of lore about the settlement. I mean, it's definitely a fan favorite. I know I love it, and like it only has a few downsides. One being like it's so close to Sanctuary Hills, kind of because like it's a dagger. Sanctuary Hills is usually someone you build up a lot, so like it only makes sense that you would build up Red Rocket beside it. But like how much do you really want to build up Red Rocket because like they're so close, you know what I mean? But I digress. And the only other downside really is there's no water, so you have to have like water pumps. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you can even put in like the water filtration system thing and hook it up to power, so like that's not even really a problem. Plus there's caravans and all sorts of things. And like if you have Volt 88, if you have the Voltec DLC, Just go down there. Just take their purified water and just bring it up. There's so much. It's so much from Vault 88. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I can't think of too many things negative to say about the settlement. I'm really having a fun time here. I needed to build it up regardless of today's video, just because of the fact that every time I go from Sanctuary Hills to Red Rocket, it seems like there is a super mutant, a raider, multiple raiders, gunners, something posing me between that little walkway. And at first it was like, once or twice it's funny, Piper missed it because she was the only one who was there. But like after I had like good 4 or 5 people there and no one was noticing raiders walking right by, I was like, oh, okay, we got to do something. We have to make you guys more apparent. We have to put some guards up. We have to do some precautions, because I'm not going to have another attack on Sanctuary Hills, another massacre like the other day when the gunners just decided to roll about our front doors and just... If you didn't see that episode, I'll put a link in the description, but it was a very, very, very action-packed, exciting episode. It was like a 2-parter, kind of. The first part was building up to it. Well, it wasn't building up to it because we didn't know it was going to happen. But Sanctuary Hills, as we were doing a side quest for the Minutemen, actually became under attack by the gunners themselves. And it was actually a pretty wild battle. Preston Garvey was involved, and Codsworth, and yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. So like I said, if you didn't see that, make sure you go check it out. But in order to stop that, we had to definitely build up our Red Rocket a little bit. And like I said, we have a provisioner going there now. We have a supply line set up. And in the future episodes, after this one airs, the next thing we're going to be focusing on is setting up kind of like a communal hub area in what is the Starlight Drive-In theater, because I really want to go from there. I want to have like that be like maybe some type of training yard for the Minutemen, or like a training grounds, or like a giant base of operations, something I'm really like central, you know. It doesn't have to be huge, but like I want it to be a decent sized base, because it's kind of central there. It's the next big base we have before, like, I have no idea, but it would nice to be, probably downtown Boston, honestly, but it would be nice to establish another big, you know, fortified base there and have a presence downtown a little bit, and make some of the other factions back off, see that we're growing. So we're going to focus on that in the next couple episodes. And we're also going to connect more supply lines, so more of our distant settlements are connected. And that means that we are going to have to also start beefing up our settlers a little more, like our provision runners. We're gonna have to start putting some, we're gonna have to gather some armor. We're gonna have to maybe make some special guns, maybe, you know, add some extra defenses, some extra stuff to help make sure that they are safe and secured, and make sure that our supplies are making it to our settlements and back without a hitch. We don't want to lose or have any kidnapped settlers or anything crazy like that go down, because that's the last thing the Minutemen need under their belt or to worry about, is another kidnapping. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me giving a little bit of lore and backstory into the Red Rocket Station. This truly is one of my favorite settlements. It's definitely probably like top 10. I know that's, you know, it doesn't seem like one of my favorites, but considering there's 37 in this game, and it's one of my all-time favorite games, I'd say that's pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy it more than these ghouls are enjoying this laser rifle to the face, because they seem to be liking it a lot as they skim my kneecaps for freaking scabs. But if you did, let me know in the comments section. Subscribe if you're new here, you know. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on. Let me know if there's any issues with the audio, anything like that. If you have any opinions, if you have any suggestions, because I read all the comments and I take them seriously, as serious as I can, you know what I mean? So if you have any suggestions, anything you want to say, anything you want me to know, do, try, look at, any other series ideas, anything at all, please don't hesitate to say. Just let me know in the comment section. And yeah, I make these videos daily. I'm having a fun time playing through Fallout 4 in the year 2024 after the next gen update. And I'm having fun bringing this content to you guys and create my own little Minutemen world as the general/overseer of it. And I hope you guys are enjoying watching me bring justice back to the Commonwealth as the general overseer. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Remember, justice never sleeps.
But it's something.